Of course.
All right.
That's the first thing gets on the podcast. Here we go.
We good?
I bet we pull a viewer or two off of this just because they love us or hate us.
Or not. Or wish we just shut up. Yeah, hey, for you all listening, you can pay and we'll shut up.
You can actually pay to have a shut up.
Pay.
True story.
Yeah. All right.
Performance on Demand podcast. It's
1, 2, 3, let's go.
Welcome to Performance on Demand podcast with Craig and Jeremy, where you will learn all things endurance sports from training and nutrition to mental strength. Everything you need and want to know in one place.
Welcome back, y'all.
Oh my God, what just happened?
Welcome back to the Performance on Demand podcast. I am your host, Craig Willard, along with Miss Jeremy Brown. Miss Jeremy Brown. Hi, Miss Jeremy.
Hey.
Hi. Oh, welcome back. This is a special announcement.
Super short, super sweet. People won't believe us. We can actually do a short podcast, Craig.
I know. We talk more than, well, I won't say we're more like two. We're just like more like two men who can't shut up. We just have a lot to say.
We're like two of those old ladies at the salon that are cackling while they're getting their hair done. I mean, that's a good.
Oh, that is so true. You know, not to go off on a tangent.
Oh God, here we go.
I know. So I was watching the Today Show the other morning, and I just a quick spot or part of it.
Is this what unemployed people?
And they said, "This is what unemployed people do." They said the word therapist, and I'd never heard that before. The therapist, and so I texted my buddy, and I said, "Dude, the therapist, that's you. It's the hair stylist therapist, the therapist." But anyway, I thought it was kind of funny.
That's you hear a lot of stories. I mean, you got to sit there and have a conversation with someone that you don't know that's cutting your hair, and the hell do you talk about the whole time?
What they will tell you. So, that's what I told him. I said, dude, I'm writing a book. There is no telling the stories you have in that head of yours from people. And he just started dying laughing. He goes, I could go on for years with the stuff that people have told me. He said, blown away. And I said, dude, you got to write a book. The Therapist, the book. You got to write it.
You said you weren't going off a tangent. You totally just did.
I did, didn't I? Yep.
Therapist.
First thing you do when you say you're not going to do something is you're going to do it.
The problem is you and I don't have, you see this big old forehead and I see your big old forehead. We don't have enough hair to be therapists. We're a horrible example of our clientele.
Yeah, definitely. So let's kind of get into what we're doing here. This is a special announcement. This is something so for many of you all who have been long-term followers, we did, I don't know how many podcasts, Jeremy, it was, prior to, I think we did, it was 50. I'm looking actually just to make sure I have my numbers right.
Well, we had a good.
We went 57.
Okay, so we had a good. We had a pretty nasty divorce. And we realized that it's cheaper to keep her, and we both agreed on that. And so we decided, you know what, we've got a good message, a good platform. We have a lot of fun. Yeah. And I don't want to get divorced, Craig.
Yeah, that's true. So we got back together and we started kicking back on the 20th of March, and we're heading on 1,000 listeners in the first month, which is, it's just mind blowing. And so Jeremy and I have worked really hard to try to figure out ways to continue to improve content, to improve quality of the video that we're putting on. So for most of you all that know,
the messaging too, the guests and the messaging, that's is
everything. I mean, we're putting a ton of time and effort and energy into this, and so we had a couple places to go. We had to pick a road, and the road incorporated finding some way to financially secure the show so that we can improve on equipment and many other things, including we want to get into some the ability to create some donating events to where people can donate money and we can send those off to particular foundations, whatever they may be. But there's just a lot of things that we want to do that we haven't done thus far. And so we really we're at a crossroads. We were at a Y, and we had to make a decision. Do we go left or do we go right? And going left included going out and getting sponsors, putting their sponsorship into our podcast. And I'll be honest, I will be the first to tell you, when I listen to shows and there's, and I won't say the names, but I listened to one the other day, and the first 5 minutes was nothing but commercials. And I was done. I was literally done with it. Now I get why they do it, and I know their content is amazing, but it's draining for those who want to hear that content and want to hear it quickly. So,
and nowadays we have DVR. We don't ever watch commercials.
I know.
And so, and you and I chatted about it, and it's like, why would we want to listen to commercials? Why would I want to give up that? Because let's face it, we're all and as society grows, we're all seemingly on more limited time day to day with family and hobbies and things like that. Why would I want to give up that 5 minutes if I had, if I don't have to? And that's what you and I decided. You know what? We don't want to give over 5 minutes. Why would we ask our followers and friends and family to give up that 5 minutes to hear? Oh, and we'd love to say thank you to True Green. Man, then we'll come spray your lawn. Blah 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 blah. Like I don't want to hear that, right?
Right. Well, not only that, but it takes away from our message, and we talk enough as it is. I mean, we struggle to keep these contained. Last thing I want to do is add another 5 or 10 minutes more content to it that truly is irrelevant, and I don't want to force feed it to you. And neither does Jeremy. So we chose to go a different route. Now, what I want to preface this with is the podcast itself, when it comes to iTunes and those types of apps, that part isn't changing. So the content is going to stay the same from a perspective of if you enjoy listening to us through iTunes, there's not going to be any difference whatsoever. However, what we've done is we've created through a website called Patreon. That's patreon.com. We've created a fan page of sorts, and that fan page has multiple levels of rewards. And what happens is, depending upon if you love what we do, and if you want to help allow us to grow and continue to literally keep these commercials out of our podcast so that we can continue to give you better content that's higher quality audio, helps us pay for new technologies that we need to give you the best of the best, then you have multiple levels of rewards that you could pay into to provide better content and quality to you. And Jeremy, I mean, do you have anything else to add to kind of why we went that direction?
I don't, Craig, and that's the thing you and I discussed, and we went back and forth on this, and let's just be honest. We've never made anything off of the podcast, and we don't aspire to. We only aspire to be able to provide better content. We think that collectively, you and I, we've gotten so much feedback after our divorce and we got back together. We've gotten so much feedback from people saying, oh, my God, I'm glad you're back. You guys would listen to a bunch of podcasts, and you guys just speak it like it is. It's real instead of this other stuff. And I've listened to a bunch of podcasts, and I love podcasts. But when you get those ones that are very calculated and very, okay, I'm going to ask Craig this question. He's going to answer this way. And then I'm going to ask him this. It's like, it's kind of lame-o. And you and I, we're just two guys with a passion for what we do. And again, we don't want to make money off this. This is not to, as Craig put in the description, we're not eating filet mignon and seafood, right? All we're looking to do is to grow our following, which comes through having a little bit of financial stability, be able to increase our reach and things like that. And we want to spread our message. Craig is paying for and writing a book on his own dime because his message means a lot to him and it's impactful and he wants to share it. I am in the process of figuring out what the fuck it is to write a book. And to try to put that stuff together because I believe in my message, and we put our message together, but it's not to make money. It's to grow our reach and to grow our impact on people's lives. And that's all this is for. It's as simple as $1 per month. Now, I just, as I said that, I feel like I'm Sarah McLachlan saying, okay, and the starving puppy from New York City for just $1 a day. It's not that. It's more like, you know what? Craig was giving me shit. My computer, my microphone sucks. Period. It's that simple. The quality isn't what it should be. And we want to increase our ability to provide a high quality product, which, if Craig, and I'm sure you've done it, I listened to a podcast the other day, and the person that called in, the show itself was high quality. The person that called into the show was on a freaking cell phone that cut in and out of service. to listen to that is brutal because I want to hear what that person said. I want to really absorb what they said, and I can only hear bits and pieces because their audio quality sucks, right? And that's kind of where.
But there, what? So
I was like, Craig, Craig, come in, Craig, come in. So
that's what you hear. That's kind of what you hear sometimes.
Yeah, it turns into fucking Morse code. So, and that's our biggest thing is we want to continue to spread our message far and wide. We love what we do. We give up, and now that we're back together, we're in the honeymoon phase. We're giving up tons of hours a week to make this happen because we believe in it and we know the impact. So, and there's actually an option if you get tired of us talking, you can actually pay us to shut the fuck up. It's that simple, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So as he said, it starts with $1. Again, here's the thing: you don't have to pay a penny. You don't have to pay a penny. So we're still providing the content. It's still going out on iTunes and many of the other podcast apps. You're getting it just like you have always received it. There is no difference. But what we have done is just changed and created some things. There for a while, we tested, using live or Google Hangout to present our podcast literally in living color. I mean, it's live. I mean, we are recording it as we are speaking. We are recording it through Google Hangouts. So one of the reward sections, one of those actually allows you to have the ability to now see that live. And it's the only way you're going to actually be able to see it live. And it's going to give you plenty of other things too. And Jeremy, do you want to break down each one of these, or do you just want to say?
I think just a quick overview, because that's the thing. We're not asking you to give us something for nothing. We're providing extra content. We're providing extra quality. You can only see half my head. There we go.
There you go, buddy.
For those that aren't watching, then you won't understand that. But Craig, I'll start with the first one. How about that?
Sure.
$1. Very, very simple. $1 per month. It's going to get you a huge shout out on the podcast, which is always cool. I love talking about people. And a heartfelt thank you. And that's a genuine, not just a bullshit thing. Oh, and we'll give you long distance high five. For those who aren't watching, I'm giving a long distance high five right now. So Very simple, $1 a month. That's $12 a year. Super simple. I got nothing else to say about that. Greg?
Okay. Well, the next reward is $5. And this is called They Sure Love to Talk. Don't we, Jeremy?
Yeah.
So you're gonna get what you got for $1. So you're gonna get a huge shout on the podcast and a heartfelt thank you and a high five from the distance. You're also gonna get a vinyl sticker of our logo to represent, yes, your favorite podcast. You know it's your favorite podcast. And then you're going to get extended access. So there are many times, and you've seen them, we put a lot of interviews in here from pros and people that are really big names in this sport. And so what we're going to actually do is we're going to go above and beyond the normal podcast, and we're going to provide a section that is just extended special interview information. This is things where we're going to ask him certain types of questions or whatever it may be, but that is content that we're not going to have that's actually out on the podcast itself. It's going to be only through the patrons website when you have a $5 monthly reward amount.
And here's the thing with that, Craig, that I think is pretty cool is that, you and I, we've gotten to know a lot of these pros personally. I've got a few pros in the cycling world I haven't called on yet to get them out there as well. But that's when the bullshitting happens, right? That's when the camera is essentially, if you will, quote unquote, off. And sometimes it's after the chat. We're like, hey, man, thanks for coming on. Dude, you did awesome here. We love this about you. And you get really the candid feel of who that person is that you don't see in Triathlete Magazine, that you don't see in Runner's World, that you don't see in the normal podcast, because let's face it, sometimes they're kind of on, they're kind of working, if you will. But when the camera goes off, that's when you get to see that extra stuff. And that's at the $5 a month, because we want to share that. That's important to us. And that's important to me for my friends who we bring on here and the people that we know. It's important for me to allow everyone to see that, yeah, they're really good at exercise, but also they're just good fucking people.
Right. So, and we're going to ask really cool questions. These are questions that the response that we expect to hear from the individuals that we're asking are going to be, oh God, that's a really good question. I've never thought about that. Or damn, that's a tough question. Those are weird. We're not going to just do this and go, hey,
so you like
Jeremy? Hey, what's your favorite color? We're not going to do that. We're going to ask these really good questions that are going to help you, maybe even in your game. Maybe it's going to, just enlighten you about that person. There are, especially because some pros really have a really, they have this stigma, even in their own sport, about people that think they're not real friendly or whatever else. And so we're going to use that moment to really help them shine and to realize that they're actually truly a good person and they're human and, they're real. And so we want to break down even some of those things. I mean, there's no telling what's going to be on here. Just know that for $5 a month, you're going to get extended interview access to the pros and other big names in the sport that you would not have received any other way. And actually, we wouldn't even have naturally put those in our podcast. So it's not like we've pulled away from what we put in the podcast. It's literally brand new content that we've never covered.
Correct.
Ever covered.
So next one is the $10 a month. Very simple. That is two. I mean, I guess it would be two venti unicorn drinks from Starbucks, which I hear are very rare now. And this one is called, and I think we all can agree with this, I love excessive exercise. That's the name of this reward tier. And the funny thing is I won't get into my whole exercise theory, but you're going to get a heartfelt shout out and a huge thank you. You're going to get the vinyl sticker we talked about. You're going to get the extended access, and you're also going to get access to our live streaming, which includes what Craig and I do and talk about before the actual podcast. Because sometimes there's, Craig, anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes before.
Oh, sometimes we go crazy with it.
And sometimes it's just us going to get another beer. And then sometimes it's us saying, man, this topic, man, I talked to it the other day. We need to talk about this. So you kind of get some insider stuff as to what we're thinking before we ever really think it. And then also the After Effects stuff too and that will be all through the live video. You'll get a link sent out just like we've been sharing. And that's at the $10 per month.
Right.
And just
for we're really not going to
today, you can save this little beagle's life.
just 30 cents.
Dude, I swear to God, we need to find whatever song that is that Sarah McLachlan plays while she talks about these little poor dogs.
Everyone would start crying. Man, that's a tough song. I remember what it is, but I remember every time I gotta, they pull on your strings. I mean, they do it. You think it was?
It's gotta be.
No.
It's not the Thong Song, that's for sure. It's not Nelly.
No.
It's not ZZ Top. It's got to be Celine Dion.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not Wild Thing either. I don't think.
Dude,
but it might be. Too legit to quit.
Dude, that's our walkout song from now on. Carry on. Next topic.
All right. The next reward amount is $25, and this is
it.
I fucking love these guys. And so what are you going to get? You're going to get the shout out. You're going to get the thank you, the high five in the air. You're going to get the vinyl sticker. You're going to get extended access from the pros and the other big names in the sport. You're going to get live video streaming of our podcast. And this is the only way that you're going to get the video streaming. This is the only way through one of the $10 or the $25 reward amounts. And then
here we go. This is something we've never done. We've done it once. We've done it once or twice with select groups, and we had a great turnout.
Yeah.
This is new.
Access to a monthly 2-hour Google Hangout chat with us to take on your questions and answer them in real time. We're literally all going to jump on a Google Hangout session and we're going to chat. And you're going to have your questions about whether it's coaching, about mental coaching, about your swim, about your run form. I mean, it can be anything, about your nutrition, about what beer you want to drink, about what beer, about whatever it may be, how to get how to sleep the night before, whatever it may be. But that is going to be a 2-hour session that is literally free. And I will tell you, my rate is $150 an hour. That is $300 just for my end of this to give it to you for $25 a month. And you're going to get that every month that you pay, every month. So it's not like you're getting this. It's not like you're just giving us money. We're going, hey, man, what are we
thanks, buddy. That was awesome.
It takes a lot. No, we're going to give you our time. We are putting a lot of effort into this. I mean, I never really thought this would end up turning into such a big amount of work, but the amount of hours we even have to put into not only build the show, but we also have to edit it. We have to upload it, and we have to put it into the iTunes market and all kinds of other things. I mean, there's just so much that we have to do. So, and I do want to remember, I want to note this, that we didn't note this before. There is, if you're just doing the dollar, which is not just, if you are, we really do thank you. If you go to the 5 and up, we will need your email or your mailing address, because we will have to send you the vinyl sticker. So it will ask you for a mailing address. We want to make sure that you actually put that in there so that we can mail your favorite podcast vinyl sticker to put on your car. All right.
Well played. That was fucking good.
Now,
last
one
for the GOAT.
Big boy.
Now,
this is the GOAT.
This is something that Craig and I, we debated about, and we thought about it. We said, obviously he's got a professional service he provides. We have a professional service we provide collectively, and also Mind Right Endurance. And at the end of the day, time is knowledge, time is money, things like that. But we wanted to offer something that is unique, is special. And you won't find anything else in the endurance space that is what we're offering with and this is the $50 a month package. This is what we call the GOAT, right? The greatest of all time. If you ask my 12-year-old, I am referred to as the GOAT. I taught her that at a young age. I worked my ass off, and now she says I'm the GOAT. And so the GOAT, you're going to get obviously the shout out. You're going to get the heartfelt thank you, which that comes, you know what? You just listen to our shit. We're going to give you that. Long distance high five. You're going to get the vinyl sticker. You're going to get the extended access. You're going to get the access to the video, the live video that we're talking about. You're going to get access to the 2-hour Google Hangout that we do. Now, the key is this one is limited to 10 people per month at this level. Now, the reason being is because Craig and I both are going to schedule a 30-minute individual online session with you. Now, that's you, me, and Craig. And I kind of feel bad for you. But and you got to think about it, when it comes to terms of things. It's a $30 session with 2 people that are super passionate about what they do, super knowledgeable about what they do, and love to share it. So you can get one-on-one time with us, which again is pretty scary, right, Craig?
Dude, it's I'm not. It's not about tooting our own horn, but
choo choo.
I mean, choo. The little engine that could. There's not anywhere on this planet that you're going to spend in a coaching session with 2 high-powered coaches, and I say that because we both have this high-performance mindset. We're going to help you get there with that 30-minute call. I mean, we really are, and I will tell you, if you don't find, I'm going to tell you this because I was raised by a very strong-willed mom who made sure that I always gave more than I was supposed to. I promise you, I will give you more than you ever would have imagined, and Jeremy will too, in that 30 minutes. If you feel like during that, we can't lay our head down at night knowing that we just took, that we brought this $50 a month in and didn't do anything for it. If for any reason you didn't find value in it, I'm returning your money. I mean, I'm not. I cannot put my head down at night and sleep on that, knowing that we didn't provide more value than you ever thought you'd ever get. And that's a heartfelt statement.
Well, and to speak to that is that, and Craig is one of I think the only people that I know that offers a professional service that is a skill set and a talent that also says, if we have a conversation, we're chatting, and you don't walk away from that conversation feeling better and more empowered than you did before, I will not charge you for that. Like, who does that? That's like going to Walmart, buying the Xbox One because you want to play it, and you get home and you're like, oh man, this sucks. And being able to completely take it back and then be like, okay, cool, thanks for bringing it back, right? So, for us, and I want to just take a minute to talk about this. For us, it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the passion. It has to do with the time. It has to do with the sharing and the empowering. And Craig and I have worked with athletes for probably almost 2 years collectively together now. And when people leave kind of our scene or from working with us, they leave more empowered. They leave more excited. They leave more just ready to go out and just fucking kick ass. And it's because we're passionate about what we do. Sometimes you go in places and you see somebody and you're like, okay, they're here for a job. But you want to see somebody and they really love what they do and they can't get enough of what they do. And you walk out and you're like, that's pretty damn fantastic. I think I'll go back there. And that's where Craig and I are at. And that's why we did this, because we want to find a way to continue to provide high quality content. I think we're one of the best triathlon related podcasts or endurance sports related podcasts that you will find anywhere on the internet. I will sit here and say that. If you think otherwise, hey, disagree with me. Perfect. Show me another one. I'd love to listen to it.
Well, the difference is, and there's going to be good podcasts. So there are good podcasts in the realm of triathlons. What we give you is tangible. It's things that you can actually, and that's the thing about it. We have over 60 podcasts out there that you can listen to. And I promise you, there is something, if not more than one thing, that you're going to take away from every single podcast we present. So before you feel like, if you're new to this, if you're new to Performance on Demand podcast, don't just come in here and start offering things. Instead, go back and look at our old stuff. Look at all the things that are still very functional, very usable, and will change literally your endurance life, if not change your life in general, because the topics that we talk about are real, and they're things that people are concerned about, and they're maybe even things you haven't even thought about. So again, we go back to where we started, and that is, we are not here to provide things that are irrelevant or from the latest endurance magazine that we've just regurgitated. This is all stuff. It's unscripted. It's hard work, and it's all in the head. So
right off the dome.
Yeah. So of that one, again, as we said, there's a limit, a quantity of 10. So get in there, get on that quick. Also, just to let everyone know, we do this website. I mean, this is a glass house. We're very transparent. So you're going to see what people are donating, and we're even going to include in some of our podcasts what we've done with some of the money, so that you understand that it's going to Jeremy's ridiculously stupid webcam that he doesn't have, or his lack of ability to have a quality microphone that we're going to have to get for him too. And if you've ever had to buy any of that equipment, or a Behringer mixer, and different types of apps that are necessary.
Thank God. Great Rat Brewing Company that provides Mind Right Endurance with the beer.
I put so much money into the technology here. I'm drinking PBR. Keystone Light over here, man.
Shout out.
So shout out. So anyway, I guess from my perspective, that's really it. This is the announcement, is to say that we're changing things up. We did do, and you can actually see some of the old, actually not old, but the most recent Performance on Demand podcast via YouTube. They're out there on our YouTube link. So if you want to go out to YouTube and then look up Performance on Demand podcast, you're going to find some of those videos to kind of get an idea of what the content's like, what you're going to see. But if you want to, go on over to www.patreon, that's patreon.com/POD podcast. And you're going to see everything in there about our reward structure and whatnot. I promise you.
We're going to have to figure out, is it Patreon or is it Patron? You and I are going to have this debate for a while, I think.
I think it's Patreon.
I think it's Patreon.
Patreon, probably.
Like,
Patreon.
You go to a sporting event, you're a patron of said sporting event.
Yeah, so you are a patron of said podcast.
And you know what? That makes you family.
It is family.
Damn right.
It does. And, we've even had, and you can go back and look at our podcast, we've even had people that were listeners.
Random listeners. That's the best.
Random listeners that jumped on the podcast and just started talking to us. It was the coolest thing. It was absolutely fascinating. And we're still going to continue to do that. And you can continue to reach out to us, performanceondemandpodcast@gmail.com. Send us a message about things. Tell us what you think. We've received recently, we received several 5-star ratings on iTunes. So if you do listen to us, we'd love for you to go out there and rate us. If you have questions or things that you want us to cover, or even one of our YouTube followers had mentioned something about someone who did the Berkeley Marathon Ultra, I guess,
Yep.
and that he didn't get a lot of interviews. So we're gonna try to grab him somehow. We're gonna locate him and see if we can get him on interview too. Just because people that do things like this, you're one in 0.0004% of people, I think, is what it is, the statistic of the percentage of people on this planet that have done an Ironman. So just because we talk about pros doesn't mean we're going to bring on age groupers. And we've had many age groupers on this podcast, and we'll continue to have a lot more of those too. So
Greg,
this is not. I know, gosh dang it. But what I'm trying to say is not only are you going to be a patron, you're also going to be someone that's probably going to be engaged at some level at some point in this show, much greater than you ever thought you ever would.
Come play with us.
I'm done.
Dude.
All right, man. Thanks, everyone. Again, patreon.com/POD podcast. Thanks for everything. We really appreciate you listening. Take care.
Later.